Hi guys, and welcome back to the FPL Duo. This is the FPL transfer tips video for Game Week 5. This is the buy, sell, hold, ignore series where we recommend you 2 players that you should buy, sell, hold, and ignore. So we will get into the players that we've picked, and yeah, it should be a good video. Obviously, we've had to do a stream today at 1 o'clock. I mean, we don't normally go live 1 o'clock on a Sunday, but because of the quick turnaround and there are midweek games, we thought we would do a video today because there's not enough time really. So we thought that we'd do the transfer tips video today. So we're gonna get through it, and yeah, let's talk. But yeah, how are you, Jordan? How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, I hope everyone else is doing well. This bank holiday. Hope you're having a nice bank holiday weekend too. And yeah, we'll get into the transfer tips.
Yep, Game Week 5 transfer tips, and obviously Game Week 5 still hasn't finished, so we're not going to speak about any of our scores because we're going to wait for the knee jerk. So we ain't going to talk about anything that's happened so far. So just letting you guys know. But yeah, let's bring up the first player that we recommend that should be on your buy list for Game Week 5, and that is Pascal Gross. So we've put Pascal Gross on this list as a buy for the first buy, and that's because of how he's performing recently. You know, he's played 4 games already, and 3 goals, 1 assist. He's looking very good. Would you agree, Jordan?
Oh, absolutely. He's outperforming many midfielders that are more expensive than himself, like Saka, for example. He's had only 2 assists, Saka, and Pascal Gross has 3 goals and 1 assist. For the price difference, it's definitely a really good bargain for 5.8 mil, despite Saka being 8 mil, only getting 2 returns. So, as well as the way that Brighton started the season off has been really well, I'd say. In terms of their defence and attack, they've been really reluctant.
Well, for me, Brighton, you look at their fixtures, Game Week 5, they have Fulham away. And then Game Week 6, they play Leicester at home. Then Game Week 7, they got Bournemouth and Palace. So if you are looking for a midfielder and around that, 6 million bracket, I think Pascal Gross should be at the top of your list, guys, because his fixtures look very good. Brighton are playing very well as well, top of the table as of now. He's already had 2 double-digit hauls. Man United, Game Week 1, he did score 15 points. And then against Leeds in Game Week 4, he did score 11 points. So I really do like Pascal Gross. And if I was looking for a midfielder under 6 million, he would be probably right up there for me. And the fixtures look good. His numbers also look good. If you look at, his expected goals per 90, 0.41. So his numbers he's putting up look very good. And his expected assists are also not to be laughed at, really, 0.16 as well. So he's looking good. He's involved in the play. His ownership's only 11.6% as well. So, he's a bit of a differential. So, yeah, I do like Pascal Gross. And I think he's one that we'll be considering. Maybe not for my team, just the way I'm set up with the 3 in midfield. Because I've got Martinelli as well. But if you want another player on top of Martinelli, Pascal Gross is one guy you should definitely be looking to bring into your team. And yeah, we will move on to the next player that we recommend that you should buy. And that is Harrison of Leeds. So another midfielder who's around that 6 million bracket. Is quite popular because, a lot of the 8 million midfielders haven't performed so far. Your Mason Mount, your Saka, these 2 people are a bit, they're a bit underwhelmed, let's say, with those players, and they're looking to downgrade the money and move the money elsewhere. So if you want to go from an 8 million midfielder to a 6 million midfielder, as we mentioned, Pascal Gross is a good option, but Harrison for Leeds is another good option in my opinion. He has just had a price rise, I believe, as well. So he's now 6.1 million. He's had 4 appearances this season, 1 goal and 3 assists. His numbers don't look too bad either. His expected goals per 90 at 0.19 and his expected assists at 0.26. We'll take a look at his fixtures very quickly. He plays Everton at home in Game Week 5. Then he's got Brentford away in Game Week 6. He's got Nottingham Forest in Game Week 7. Manchester United could be a bit tough in Game Week 8. and then Villa at home in game week 9. So, if you are planning on wildcarding in game week 9, then you could bring a Leeds player in because they have good fixtures pretty much up until the time most people are going to want a wild card. So I like the look of Harrison. I think he's a good option as well. I think I prefer Pascal Gross, but if you want a Leeds player in there because you trust Leeds fixtures and you like the way they're playing, I think Harrison should be up there. Would you agree with me, Jordan?
Yeah, with the fixtures that Leeds have, there's only really one tough one in the next 5 upcoming ones for Leeds. So it is probably best to maybe target Leeds players like Harrison, for example. There's probably other options, but we've gone with Harrison as a buy. And he has returned very well as well. I mean, he's outperforming midfielders that are more expensive than his price of 6.1 mil. And with 3 assists and 1 goal and 4 appearances, that's a pretty good record so far. And that's expected for his stats to go up even more from the easier fixtures that Leeds have coming up because they've looked really good. They've definitely improved from last season. There's more stability in the team, or teamwork, chemistry in all the positions. And yeah, Harrison's it's a great buy at the moment as he has just risen in price. I think last night he risen to obviously 6.1. So his ownership is really low as well. I'm surprised it's still 4%, despite Rodrigo's one shooting up through the stars. But yeah, Harrison's a great differential if you prefer to go different and low owned player for Leeds. Like Harrison, he's a very good pick, especially when he's nailed as well with 4 out of 4 appearances, and he's probably the best go-to differential to go for.
Yeah, for Leeds, yeah. You look at his ownership at 4%. It's still very, very low. He did pick up a double-digit haul against Chelsea as well. So in game week 3, he did get a goal and an assist against Chelsea, and he got the clean sheet point. So he does have that potential to return. Obviously, in game week 4, unfortunately, they did lose. Or yesterday, they lost 1-0, didn't they? So yeah, but we still think Harrison's a good option going forward, especially in those Everton at home and in Nottingham Forest at home. You could potentially see, you could see, an avenue for points for Harrison, and I think, yeah, he's an option that we'll be considering as well. So yeah, those are the 2 buys at the way. So you've got Pascal Gross as a buy, and then you also got Harrison that we've put on a buy list. So now let's move on to the players that we recommend. That if you should probably sell now. So yeah, these are the sells. And the first one on the list is Saka, Bukayo Saka. Now people might be wondering why he's on this list after we did say to hold him a few weeks back. But the reason he's a sell isn't because he's a bad player in general. I think it's more to do with if you want to take money out of him and then put it in somewhere else. I think he could be a sell. You see, he's played 4 times this season. He's got no goals and he's got 2 assists. His underlying numbers don't look great either. They're quite low. His expected goals per 90 is 0.09. His expected assists per 90 also at 0.13. I saw a stat, I think, where Saka hasn't scored from open play in his last 13 games. So no goals in open play in 13. So that is a slight worry. But people will also turn around and say he's been a bit unlucky, a bit unfortunate with the returns. But for us, I think he still can be a sell, just purely because I think, with the fixtures coming up, obviously they don't look too bad, but 8 million, or he's now at a price drop to 7.9. Is a money better used in Martinelli or Rodrigo or Pascal Gross or what do you reckon, Jordan?
Yeah, as we made comparisons previously to players that are cheaper, it does seem like selling Saka is a good choice at the moment, as the cheaper options are outperforming Saka at the moment. I mean, Saka only has 2 assists by his name in 4 appearances, and you can arguably say he's been unlucky when it comes to chances. Like yesterday's match, he could have potentially scored, but it was just taken off of him in the box. So he's kind of, I feel like he's cursed at the moment, Saka. And I feel like the facial reaction of his picture is probably the same as the owners at the moment, in utter shock. But at some point, Saka has to get something. But at the moment, it doesn't seem like it's coming. So at the moment, it's probably best to sell him just to see what happens to him in the foreseeable future, see if
Yeah.
he picks up his form or not. But I should think he should. But at the moment, he's a sell just because he's underperforming currently, and I feel like there's other options out there cheaper that will benefit you more at the moment until Saka gets back on the right track again.
Yeah, I would go. I would go along with you, agreeing with that. I think with Saka, now the problem is if you take him out, he has the potential to get a goal. Like that can easily happen. So that there is that worry when you take him out, he'll score. But at the price range he's at, 7.9 million now, I think you could get away, without him maybe for the next couple of weeks, just because you could put that money into Martinelli, who his teammate, who is outperforming him. I don't think you need Martinelli, Saka, and Jesus. You could just get a defender in, an Arsenal defender, and then change your triple up. So yeah, Saka for us both is a sell. His ownership is still 13.5, so he's still low owned, but with the price drop, it's not looking that great. But it's one of those. You've got to decide whether you think the money's best invested elsewhere. But there is slight doubt on me as well that when you take him out, he has a potential to score. So there's that slight worry. So just putting it out there. But if I had him, I'd probably look to sell if I'm being honest. So yeah, Saka for us is a sell. Let's move on now to the next player that we recommend that you should also sell, and that is Pedro Neto. Now, Pedro Neto actually plays today. I think he kicks off in 45 minutes. So we'll have to see how he does in that game. I'm just checking the fixture. Yeah, Pedro Neto has a game in 45 minutes against Newcastle. So we'll have to see how he does in that one. But if you're just looking at Neto right now, 3 games he's played, no goals, no assists. His expected goals per 90 also at 0.05, and his expected assists per 90 at 0.06. Now, game week 5 is still, he's got Bournemouth. It's still a good fixture for him. But then Southampton he's got at home as well in game week 6, and then you see game week 7 and game week 8 is where it gets tough. He's got Liverpool away and then Man City at home. So very difficult fixtures for Wolves and Neto. But overall, for me, he's still a sell at his prices. He has had 2 price drops now. He's now 5.3 million. Ownership has also dropped quite a bit to 8.7%. So I think he's one that you could get rid of, guys. I think there's better players probably, would you say, out there for that price? For 5 million, you're better off just getting a 4.5 million defender. Sorry, 4.5 million midfielder, and then using that money elsewhere.
Yeah, it just seems better to use the money somewhere else. It's a similar reason to other midfielders. Obviously, Neto is a bit more cheaper, but at the same time, he's had 3 appearances without having no returns from no goals and no assists. And with his ownership dropping like a bomb, I mean, he was over, I think, 20% at the start of the season. Now he's just dipped down below 10% and still dropping ownership, as well as his price as well. So you could say he's probably a better option to just sell and use the money up somewhere else to upgrade or downgrade, wherever your choice is for Neto, because he just hasn't done the business. As we say, the Wolves have had easy fixtures, but Neto hasn't really returned in any of them, and we all know that Wolves as well aren't really the goal maniacs of the team. They usually never really score many goals in the season. They're more a defensive team when they pick one goal here and there. So it all adds on top of each other that Neto is a defo sell just from those reasons.
Yeah, for me, Neto is a player that you don't really want to play most weeks. Like, obviously, a lot of people have him on the bench. But what I'd look to do if I had him, probably downgrade him to a 4.5 million midfielder or a 4.4 million midfielder, because there are some 4.4 midfielders now. And I'd just have him as a bench fodder. And obviously, a lot of it comes down to what formation you play. If you're playing 5 at the back, I think you can afford to get rid of Neto and downgrade him completely and just waste that spot in as a bench fodder. But that's what I'd be doing if I had Neto. I just completely downgrade him and then just use it and move it up to defense or in an attack. Because as always, I prefer the big at the back. I prefer to play 5 at the back, as I've mentioned all pretty much all preseason, and then even free up the front. I prefer playing that at the moment ahead of Neto. So yeah, I think Neto's an easy sell if I had him, guys. Despite the game week 5 fixture against Bournemouth does look very good, because Bournemouth did just concede 9 goals to Liverpool or yesterday. So Bournemouth do seem like the team to target. So maybe you could slightly hold on to him for that, Bournemouth, and see how he does. But Wolves are just a team that don't get many goals. So yeah, he's a sell for us. So Neto's a sell as well as Saka. And then yeah, let's move on to the players that we think you should hold on to. So the first player on our list that we reckon they should hold on to is Mohamed Salah. Now, interestingly, Salah, I believe, is the most transferred out player ahead of game week 5 as we speak, which I find crazy because, Liverpool won 9-0 yesterday, and Salah didn't get involved in any of the goals, no assists and no goals. And a lot of people have been frustrated by that, and they're transferring Saka out. One thing I will say to those people is they're the same people that transferred out Trent Alexander-Arnold before Bournemouth, and then he goes and scores a 17-point haul. I think it's just too knee-jerky, and removing Salah for me before he plays Newcastle, Everton, Wolves, still premature. I still think Salah will deliver. I think if we told you that Liverpool would score 9 goals, but Salah wouldn't be involved in any of them, you wouldn't believe that. But it sometimes happens. Salah's still getting into good positions, I believe. Expected goals per 90 at 0.31, and his expected assists 0.36 as well. So his numbers aren't too bad. He's got 2 goals and 1 assist in 4 games, which isn't bad either. But obviously he has that 13 million price tag, so people expect a lot from him. But I think he's been, I think if you watch the game, he was a bit unlucky. Bad finishing, because he did have 2 very good chances where he should have. He normally scores. So for me, Salah's still a hold, and seeing those transfers out for him, I think is a bit crazy at the moment. But what do you make of Salah, Jordan, being the most transferred out player heading into Game Week 5?
Well, judging from his reaction in his graphic, I feel like that's what people felt like after full time at the Liverpool game, especially if he was a captain option. But it's one of those things where we've seen this in previous matches where Haaland was against Bournemouth and he only got 1 assist despite Man City winning by a huge amount like Liverpool did yesterday. So it seems like with newly promoted teams, when a player like Salah or Haaland is less involved and more of the differential players are involved more, like Firmino, for example. So it's just one of those instances where it's a bit annoying, but it was kind of, you could see it happening somehow through that game. It was just unlucky, and Salah had a great chance to score. I mean, he was 4 yards away from the goal and he managed to just dip it over the top of the post somehow. But it's just one of those things for fantasy. You just never know what's going to happen in matches. Yeah. You would feel like Salah would score like a hat-trick in that game. But despite the transfer outs, though, it's similar to what Huss mentioned about Trent Alexander-Arnold. When he was the most transferred out player, or second most transferred out player, he comes back with a return of 17 points. So Salah can easily replicate that against Newcastle home, especially when he's going to be more hungry now to score a goal, despite not getting anything from that Bournemouth match. So there is more willpower and desire for Salah to bag more returns now. And I feel like it's in our favour because we'll be keeping Salah and holding him on while other people will be selling him. So his ownership is going to keep dropping, as it is at the moment. It's now below 60% and continue to drop through this game week. So it's just more better for us because if he's less owned, then there's more green hours for us. But if you decide not to hold Salah, then that's really going to backfire like it did with selling Trent.
Yeah, he's at 174,000 transfers out already, Mo Salah, ahead of that, blank against Bournemouth in the 9-0 win. I do believe I do believe it's a bit reactionary removing Salah too soon. I think he has the potential to haul easily against Everton, Wolves, Brighton, even in Game Week 9. And he's one that, for me, is a definite hold. I wouldn't be selling him at all. And if you guys are, selling Salah, do let us know your thoughts behind it. On why, and are you selling Salah? Let us know in the comments, guys. And if you have just joined the stream, guys, please don't forget to drop a like on the video and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. We have a lot of content to come this week, so yeah, don't miss out. Do subscribe and also like the video if you can. But yeah, let us know what you're doing with Salah, guys. Are you holding on to him? Are you frustrated with him? Are you going to sell him? Let us know. But yeah, for us, easy hold. Now let's move on to the second player, which I kind of accidentally revealed a few seconds ago, and that is Tony. For us, he's another hold because, he's had 4 appearances, 2 goals, 1 assist. His underlying numbers are decent, expected goals per 90 at 0.3 and his expected assist per 90 at 0.47. We take a look at his fixtures in Game Week 5. He's got Palace, and then Leeds, Southampton, Arsenal, and then Bournemouth. Those fixtures are pretty much as good as it gets if you're a Brentford fan. If you're a Tony owner, I wouldn't be getting rid of him ahead of those green fixtures. I think if you've got him in, you've got to play him and just hope he returns. His ownership is, slightly dropped as well. He's being sold by quite a few managers at 19.2%. His price, is at 7.2 million, as we know. But we still think Tony's a good option, don't we, Jordan? And we wouldn't be getting rid if we had him.
Yeah, if I could afford him, I would have bought him in last game week. Despite him blanking, I'll still be willing to buy him or hold on to him, especially for the owners who already have him. I wouldn't be getting rid of him because what other options have you really got for those fixtures in comparison? Like Brentford had one of the best teams with the best fixtures upcoming. Besides the Arsenal game, they've got really good green fixtures. So you definitely want to be holding Tony for a longer term to see how he does, especially when he's on penalties as well, because even if Tony doesn't score directly, there's always that chance that the opposition will give away a penalty. And then obviously if he scores it, then that's happy days for you as a Tony owner. So you have to think of it in the longer aspect rather than the short aspect of like players like Tony. If he blanks one game week, doesn't necessarily mean he's going to blank all the other 5 easy ones that Brentford have. It's just one of those things where there's going to be consistencies with players, and that's just one of them. And you just have to move on and just hope that he can get something in the other matches, which he is more than capable of, with 2 goals and 1 assist to back himself, and with his XG really high as well. He's always going to be a good option in your forward position.
Yeah, I think with Tony, I think a lot will depend on how obviously Brentford do in the next 3 or 4 games. But as fixtures wise, you've got to hold on to him. I mean, if you bought him in, you've got to be a bit patient with him. Give him a few weeks. I think he'll come out. He'll come good. And I do like Tony. He's playing well. And as Jordan did mention, he's on penalties, so he's got that going for him. And 7.2 million. There's not many strikers around that. And Palace away could be a decent fixture for him. For Brentford, obviously Brentford did draw yesterday against Everton, and I think people are obviously annoyed at Tony, and then a lot of sales. But I think he's an easy hold for us. Give him a few more weeks, and then see how he does. If not, then you can always get rid later. But for game week 5, I think hold on to Tony. So yeah, the 2 holds are Tony and Salah, as mentioned. Now let's move on to the final part of the video, and these are the players that you should ignore for game week 5. So the first player on the list that you should ignore, that is Roberto Firmino. Now Firmino, as anyone saw yesterday in that 9-0 win, he got 2 goals and 3 assists. He's played 3 times and he got 2 goals, 2 assists. 2 goals, 3 assists, which all came in that one match against Bournemouth. His underlying numbers ain't too great. Obviously, his expected goals and assists are pretty low. His game week 5 fixture is Newcastle at home. He will probably start that game because Nunez is still injured. Sorry, not injured. Nunez is still suspended. He's obviously picking up the red card. And Jota is still injured. So Liverpool don't really have any other options but to play Firmino at the moment. So he should be fine for game week 5 in terms of minutes. But saying all that, I still believe everyone transferring him in, I think he's a bit knee-jerky, regardless of how well he done against Bournemouth. I think, yes, he's 8 million and he's quite cheap to bring in, but I think Firmino is one of those players. He's not going to do that every week. Obviously, as a Liverpool fan, Firmino at the moment, I think that was Firmino's first goal in Anfield in 20 games. So he's not a reliable goal scorer. Apart from yesterday where he did go a bit crazy, what a performance from him. But he has struggled for goals. I would say in the last 20 games. So that was his first return. So I still don't think Firmino is one that we should bring into our team. I think a lot of players will look at that and think, "Oh, is it time to bring Firmino in?" But I wouldn't go there. I think he's an easy ignore. He's not going to score those goals every week. And if you look at his price tag, 8 million, you'll probably have to sell Jesus or someone like that to bring him in anyway. So for me, Firmino is an easy ignore. His underlying numbers ain't great. He's not a reliable goal scorer, and I don't think he'll pretty much keep it up. So that's why I think it's an ignore. And game week 5 fixture against Newcastle is going to be tough as well. What do you make of Firmino anyway, Jordan, as an FPL asset in general? Regarding was he coming off the back of that amazing performance he had yesterday?
Yeah, I think with Firmino, it's a very once in a while flurry that he has. I think we saw last season similar thing where he scored a hat trick against a team, and then afterwards he was silent as the wind. I just think similar to what I said earlier on, because it's a newly promoted team and a fixture that's really easy for Liverpool, it just gives more diversity for players to outperform, as they say. Like Firmino, who got the 2 goals and the 3 assists just because of the flexibility Liverpool had in that match. I mean, Bournemouth were running crazy around the pitch. They had nothing involved in that game at all. It was all Liverpool. And it just gave Liverpool that extra comfortability to just play around with the ball and allow other goal scorers to get involved, like Firmino, who isn't a regular goal scorer. So, but when he gets a chance to, obviously he will take it and most likely return like he did in the Bournemouth game with 2 goals and 3 assists. But other than that, he is an ignore because he's not like a Jesus where he'll do that mostly every game week. And obviously he's only really playing on the sole purpose of Nunes and Jota being injured and suspended. So that is all that Liverpool have at the moment. So that can easily change once they're back in the team.
Yeah, and as I've mentioned, Firmino has struggled for goals. Those were his first goals since first goals at Anfield in 20 games, I think, or 15 games, something like that. But yeah, I mean, I think it is like you said, it was a bit of flurry of goals have come in for Firmino. It was his day, but he's not a reliable output for goals, in my opinion. So yeah, for us, he's an easy ignore. Let us know what you guys think of our picks so far in the comments below, guys. Let's move on to the final player that we recommend that you should ignore for game week 5, and that is Mitrovic. Obviously, Mitrovic also played yesterday against Arsenal. He did score against Arsenal. And, the thing with Mitrovic, I actually like him as an option. Like, even though I've put him as an ignore here, I think he's a good player. 4 appearances, 4 goals. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. His expected goals also look very good. His expected goals per 90, 1.01. So essentially, he's expected to score a goal every game. So the numbers in that sense look good. But if you look at his next, 3 fixtures, he's got Brighton at home, which, we know how Brighton's defense is. It's quite tough and they are a good defensive team. And then in game week 6 and game week 7, he's got Tottenham away and then Chelsea at home. So you could say he's got 3 tough fixtures for an attacking player. Where teams don't concede many goals. So for us, regardless of Mitrovic's amazing start to the season and scoring against Arsenal yesterday, I still think he's an ignore for the next 3 game weeks, or especially if you're looking to bring him in for the next couple game weeks. Brighton isn't the worst fixture in the world for him, but we know Brighton are a good defensive team, and then Tottenham and Arsenal, you don't really be wanting to play him in those games. In my opinion, but we know he does have the quality to potentially get goals in those games, as we saw against Liverpool in game week 1, where he did score a penalty, and then he also scored against Arsenal yesterday. So not the worst option, but I wouldn't personally want to bring him in ahead of those Brighton, Tottenham, and Chelsea games. So for us, he's an easy ignore, I'd say. But saying all that, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes and scores against Tottenham or Chelsea. Would you agree, Jordan?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's not put down that Mitrovic has the potential to score against top teams like he did against Arsenal. But on the basis of the way the fixtures run, we have to justify that too. So if you bringing in Mitrovic would be probably a bad time if you consider the fixtures and the teams that are in those game week 5, 6, and 7. It would be like a pretty bad time to bring Mitrovic in that respect, especially when he scored 4 goals in 4 appearances. You do expect him to blank anytime soon now. I'll be pretty impressed if he keeps it going. I mean, last season he's already outperformed his statistics from this season already. So I could prove you wrong there, but yeah, for the sole purpose of how the fixtures run, he is an ignore for us. And even though his ownership is rising, it's 18% and still going up, and his price is, well, he's just risen, so he's 6.7 mil at the moment. But with the way he's playing, I mean, I'm not surprised that his ownership is still going up. But we still think he's an ignore Mitrovic, especially for the Brighton fixture at home. Brighton have been really good this season defensively and in an attacking sense as well this season, which we never really saw previously. So yeah, it was going to be a tough game, I think, for Fulham in game week 5, 6, and 7 for Mitrovic.
Yeah. One thing I will say about Mitrovic, the reason he's on this list is obviously because of the fixtures mainly. After game week 9, his fixtures look very, very good. So if you're on a wild card, I think he's going to be on a lot of our wild card teams personally. But we'll come on to wild card obviously closer to the time. But after game week 9, he's got Newcastle, West Ham, Bournemouth, Villa, Leeds, and Everton. So after game week 9, his fixture turned very good. And he was definitely one that will have on our wild card teams, I think, in terms of strikers. But for now, for the next 3, we think you could get away without Mitrovic, but we may be wrong. So we'll wait and see. Let's quickly recap, though, of all the players that are on the list that we've recommended. So off the top, the 2 players that you should buy for game week 5 and beyond for the next couple are Pascal Gross and Harrison of Leeds. So those are the 2 buys. The 2 players that you should sell are Saka and Neto. And then the 2 players you'd hold on to for game week 5 and beyond, Salah and Tony. And the 2 players that you should ignore are Firmino and Mitrovic. So those are the 8 players. Let us know what you guys think of our picks. Do you agree? Do you disagree? We'd like to know in the comments. Also, if you are enjoying the content, guys, please don't forget to drop a like on the stream. It really helps the channel out. Also, subscribe if you haven't already. And ring your notification bell, guys. So yeah, a lot of content to come. So subscribe so you don't miss out. And also, as always, drop a like because it helps the channel massively. But yeah, we're going to take a few of your comments. So if you do have any questions regarding Game Week 5 transfers or anything below, we're going to take a few comments. So do drop them in below. We've got Vicky here who says Fofana at 4.4 is a bargain. He will play regularly for Chelsea and he can get a few goals, especially from corners because he's very good in the air. Yeah, I think Fofana at 4.4 could be a very good cheap entry into that Chelsea defense. Hopefully, I know Chelsea, they are, Mendy and the defenses are looking a bit off in terms of clean sheets. But when Fofana comes, he will improve that defense and they'll have a settled back 5. So maybe he becomes an option. Would you agree, Jordan?
Oh, yeah. I think a lot of people swing for Nico Williams too, Fofana, as they're really close in terms of price. It's only 4 mil more than Nico Williams is. So, yeah, so I see that transfer happening a lot when obviously Fofana comes into Chelsea.
Yeah, Fofana is a good option. I mean, I like him, and I think he will improve Chelsea, and definitely at 4.4 is a good option as if you want a cheap Chelsea defender. We've got Idrissa here. Welcome to the channel. He says, looking to shift Zinchenko on for another defender. Thoughts on Dunk? Dunk. Yes. I mentioned Dunk yesterday too. I do like Dunk a lot. If I just take you guys back to Brighton fixtures. If you look at the Brighton fixtures, sorry, I'm going to use gross because they've got the same fixtures. But in game week 5, they've got Fulham. Then game week 6, Leicester, Bournemouth, Palace. You can see at least a couple of clean sheets in the next 4 games. So Dunk definitely is one that I do like. And if you are looking to shift Zinchenko and save a bit of money, Dunk for me, 100%. Idrissa, I think is a good transfer. Got Nas, VVM. Saka don't get the supply as much this season with Ben White at right back instead of Tomiyasu, whereas Martinelli has Zinchenko behind him. This is a good point, to be fair. I think Obviously, Ben White is playing at right back, so maybe that's changed the dynamics of Arsenal's attack. Tomiyasu, it looks like he has to win that right back spot back off Ben White, because Ben White has been pretty good, if we're being honest. He's playing very well at the moment at right back, so I can see what he means. And yeah, Martinelli does have Zinchenko behind him, and Tierney as well when he doesn't play. So yeah, there is that as well. We've got to take that into consideration. But I think Martinelli does look very good as well at the moment. So Saka isn't a bad pick, but it's just whether you can use that money and buy his teammate Martinelli, and who pretty much is outperforming him. So yeah, it's a fair shout. We've got Jake here. AFC says, "Afternoon, lads. I'm doing so bad on FPL. I've got 18 points. Oof.
18.
Hopefully it picks up." Yeah,
How have you managed that, Jake?
Well, I'm assuming you've got a lot of Spurs players, so yeah. Hopefully it picks up for you, because obviously there's still games and Game Week 5 isn't over yet. But also, guys, I just want to quickly add, we will be back again today at 7 p.m. for another stream, because we are going to do the knee-jerk reaction stream at 7 p.m. So we're going to be reacting to our scores from Game Week 4. So if you don't want to miss that out, do subscribe and ring the notification bell, so you don't miss out. So I will put it on the Twitter. I will tweet out when we go live, but 7 p.m. join us for the knee jerk. It should be a very, very good one. But yeah, just letting you guys know. We also got Liam. Hello, do you have Haaland in your team? Strong chance Haaland doesn't play midweek due to Pep's comments saying Erling won't play 3 times a week. Think Erling starts that Villa away fixture on the weekend. This is a fair shout. We did discuss this regarding Haaland. I actually said this in the deadline stream that Haaland could be dropped for that midweek game because of Pep's comments. We will talk about this on our team selection video as well. But at the moment, I think it's very, very hard to sell Haaland, even though if he does get benched, my worry is he comes off the bench, plays 30 minutes and he gets 2 goals, or even gets a goal. And it's hard to get rid of a player after they've just scored a hat-trick. But we will go into it deeper in the team selection video, what we do with Haaland personally, because obviously we both are Haaland owners. So definitely we will be, there'll be a lot of Haaland chat this game week. So at the moment, I'm leaning towards keeping him, because I just can't bear to remove him, because he's just got a hat-trick, and I'm just worried that if I do take him out, he comes off the bench and still gets a goal against Nottingham, which is easily possible. Also, Jordan, you want to take the next comment?
Yeah, Liam Martin says, do you guys think Zinchenko would be fine for Game Week 5 and will start versus Villa? This is the predicament, because I did say this to Huss, because obviously I own Zinchenko and I was a bit worried whether he will be fine for Game Week 5, and because he does have a knee injury, I believe. But from what Arteta has said, I don't think it's serious, and he probably will be available for the Aston Villa game. But we'll have to, when it comes close to the time, we'll know for sure. But at the moment, it doesn't look too bad for Zinchenko. I think he'll be fine for the Game Week 5 fixture against Villa. But we'll make sure close to the time if he is okay for it.
Yeah, we'll have to see how Zinchenko does regarding comments. Like, let's wait till nearer the deadline. I think that's one of the ones we're going to wait till near the deadline. If we hear any news that he's going to miss out, you just take him out and maybe get in a dunk or someone like that. And but it looks like he should be fine, and it was just a precaution, like minor injury. Jake AFC says Arsenal winning the league. There you go, Arsenal fans. Jake said it here first. Liam also says, I'm not saying sell him. I just can't think about captaining him. Oh yeah, that's fair enough. Captaining could be a worry if he doesn't start, but I think we'll have to wait closer to the deadline if we hear any news of Haaland benching. I think it's quite hard to see what's going to happen with Haaland, because I'm waiting for any early team news regarding that. If we hear any murmurings of Haaland being benched, just don't captain him, guys, and then go with someone else. Jake also says, I bought in Estupinan, the Brighton defender, for Zinchenko, but I don't know if he will do well because he's a new signing. I mean, you could have bought in Dunk, a 4.5 Brighton defender, nailed as well. So why did you go with a Estupinan over a Dunk, for example? Do let us know your thoughts behind that, Jake. Liam also says, to be honest, he celebrated the winning goal for them yesterday.
Oh yeah, that was funny, because I thought that was a person from the crowd that came down from it, but it was Zinchenko, wearing a dark grey top. And I was like, is that Zinchenko there? Because I thought he was injured. He shouldn't be running on the pitch like that if he's injured.
Well, that must be the news that the Zinchenko fans wanted. Maybe he's not that, it's not a serious injury if he could run on the pitch. So maybe he does play in game week 5. So you could get away with just holding him if you have a decent bench. Obviously, if you've got like an Andreas or someone like that, just play them and just hold it out. So yeah, guys, that is the list. Let us know what you think. But yeah, those are the transfer tips for game week 5. Pascal Gross and Harrison as buys, Saka, Neto as sells, Salah and Tony as holds, and then Firmino and Mitrovic are ignores for game week 5. And yeah, we're probably going to wrap the video up here. We are streaming again at 7 p.m. Knee-jerk live reaction. Should be a good one. And yeah, guys, we hope to see you for that stream. But for now, that is it from us, because there are some football matches going on in 15 minutes. I think Wolves kick off soon against... who are Wolves playing?
Aston Villa, I
think. No, Wolves got Newcastle, Aston Villa, West Ham. So that kicks off in less than 15. So we're going to end the stream here. And yeah, we just want to say, guys, do check us out at 7 p.m. Do join that one. And yeah, that's it for today. This has been the transfer tips video for game week 5. We hope you've enjoyed the content. Please do drop a like and a subscribe. We really appreciate your support. And yeah, that's it from us. Anything else you'd like to add, Jordan?
Oh, that's all. Enjoy the rest of the game week, and hopefully you get a green arrow, even more green arrow at the end of it.
Yeah, hopefully everyone does get a green arrow, because game week 5 concludes today, and we'll be back for 7 p.m. guys. Don't miss that one. So yeah, that's it from us, guys. That's it from the FPL Duo. Take it easy, and yeah, enjoy your weekend.
Yeah, Peace. Take it easy, guys. See you later.